Hello guys, I'm back today to talk about the boudoir as it was in the 1920s, 1930s, and a bit of the 1940s. So I'm going to explain to you what exactly was the boudoir, what objects went along with it, and what clothes went along with it as well. I'll also show you some of the garments and objects that I've collected because I am a big fan of the boudoir and the kind of aesthetic that goes along with it. And then I'll show you my recreations, and then we will make some together, or I'll make some. You'll watch me make some recreations of these boudoir objects. So let's get to it. I know these videos might seem very out of order, but that's because they are, and I've been filming over multiple days. So just if I'm in a different outfit, that's why. But basically I just wanted to give like a history on the boudoir. So you might think of it like initially in its modern way, which is like risque photography, but that was not how it started. So the boudoir was originally like a French term, comes from the verb boudoir, which means to sulk, and so it originated in the 1700s in France, and it was a lady's room to spend time alone, to sulk and enjoy privacy. So it was characterized basically as a ladies' lounging room, and this was something for wealthy women because it was a specified room that wasn't exactly like the morning room or the dressing room, but it was specifically for lounging. And it was characterized mostly by Renaissance and Rococo styles in 1700s and into the Victorian period. The boudoir in the 1920s and 30s is kind of where it shifted to be something that was a bit more glamorous and less private. So that's where kind of boudoir photography comes from, because the risque, like, sort of vibe of the flappers and advent of the camera, it became a lot more, as glamour and sensuality took over, the room style changed to something more of novelty and direct, like, outwards luxury. So on the vanity, some of the objects that were very common to see were vanity sets, so made out of things like celluloid, tortoiseshell, and silver on the vanity. So you had also cosmetics, and which came to use publicly in the 1920s. And so you had novelty powder puffs, novelty compacts, and so very decorative stuff. You had in the furniture chaise lounges, velvet, silks. You had lace everywhere, doilies, feminine little chairs, and beds. And novelty objects that are really associated with the boudoir include boudoir dolls. So they were like soft-bodied and legged dolls that were unlike children's dolls in that they were dressed in women's clothing, not often, but sometimes shown smoking, and so it's just kind of a very feminine thing. You had boudoir pillows, boudoir scarves, you had feather fans, you had all different types of objects that were just for appearance and novelty and beauty and something indulgent, you know. The fashion of the boudoir in the 1920s and 30s, of course, was just defined by undergarments and lingerie. So silks, laces, rayon, delicate cotton prints, boudoir caps, which are lace and silk, sometimes crochet caps that became popular in the 1800s, but really were also popular into the 20s too. They would be used to set curls, pin curls. And would wear that, and it would just be worn in the morning only because it's like just something for yourself. But yeah, very pretty. Slips, nightgowns, bed jackets, robes, boudoir slippers, lounge pajamas, teddies. So just like antique lingerie, basically. And it's just significant because it was a woman's space, devoid of all male influence and touch, and it was only for women. And so I just think it's a very like significantly, like it shows like what a woman's aesthetic was for during these years. So I will be beginning by showing you my collection of boudoir-esque objects. So I'm going to show you my collection of authentic antique boudoir pillows, which are one of the things that I just love to collect. So these are just like small little decorative pillows, and usually they're embroidered or decorated with lace, and I'll show you all of them. I only have 3, and I don't think I paid more than $15 for one. Actually, my mom bought that one, so I haven't paid more than $5 for one. So this is a 1910s boudoir pillow. This is a very common style. The lace and the embroidery and the shirring. And it has a blank back. It's adorable. And then here is a 1920s to 1930s antique boudoir pillow. Oftentimes these boudoir pillows were sold as little embroidery patterns, and so you can find a lot that were either not embroidered or they were never made into pillows on eBay, and those go for like pretty cheap. So this is an example of one of those. I of course did not put it together, not of course, but I didn't put it together. It came like this, but I have seen this exact pattern on eBay. So it was a little pattern that you could mail order, and yeah. And then I have this 1930s Art Deco boudoir pillow, and this one is like so pretty. I think I got it for $3 or $2 at a flea market, and it's so pretty. I love the yellow. Okay, so those are my boudoir pillows. I just put them on my bed or put them on my little seat over there. I have this 1930s or 1940s little box. So it's satin silk, or more so just silk. And it's a little box. You can find a lot of these. These are very popular. It's like with cardboard, just made all of cardboard. And you would put your gloves in it, put any little objects, but it's very feminine, it's very adorable. The next two I have, I'm not sure if you would consider them boudoir objects, because you wouldn't only keep them in the boudoir, you would keep them with you. So I'm going to include them because I consider them to be beautiful enough to be a woman's, getting ready space object. So this is a little 1920s hanky holder. This one is beautiful with the ribbon work and the lace. It's in perfect condition, but sorry, if you sew, strings get everywhere. It's almost completely hand stitched, and you would just put your handkerchief right in there and you keep that with you, and it's padded and it's so cute. And here's another one, the baby little ribbon work flower and the most beautiful lace. This is probably from the 1910s to 1920s. It's basically the same on the inside. It's adorable. So I have 2 of these, but this is a 1930s one, and the other one I have is a 1950s, so I'll just keep this one. But this is a little 1930s rayon lingerie pouch. So you would put, whatever you want into one of these, and it would just keep you safe. Keep all your stuff safe. This one is not in very good condition, but I think she's so cute. I put my little thread spools in here. Also, another popular object for the boudoir is a vanity set. So this is a 1940s celluloid mirror and 1940s celluloid hairbrush. So of course these were very popular during these eras, and they would usually come as a whole big matching set, and you would probably get like a very nice little case, and they were popular really from the late, maybe mid 1800s up to the 50s and 60s. And you could get all types of things with them. You could get little powder dishes or powder jars, trays, which I have one, but I just don't want to take all my stuff out of it, hair receivers, nail grooming, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you are an avid vintage clothing enthusiast, you would know that 1920s and 1930s and also 1940s boudoir clothing pieces, to say the least, they are very popular. This is mostly just because of the craftsmanship. The details very coquette. It's very in right now, and I don't think they'll ever not be in because these pieces are just so beautiful. Like the 1930s bias cut slips and bed jackets and 1920s little teddies always be in. So I only have a small collection of pieces, but they are some of my most beloved, beautiful, girlish, you know, pieces. So I will be sharing my little collection, and yeah, I'll tell you about each one. First is this 1940s satin rayon bed jacket. So you can see the lace work and the beautiful printed satin. It is so silky soft. I think I paid $18 for her on Depop. And basically a bed jacket was a very popular thing probably from the 1930s through the 60s, and it was very luxurious, especially during the economic hardships of the 30s and 40s, because it was only meant for when you're in bed, lying in your nightgown still, but you haven't gotten up to go around the house, because if you're going around the house, you need a robe. So this is just when you're in your boudoir and you want to keep your shoulders warm when you're in bed. So it's very decadent in a way, the whole idea, but you can find a lot of these online. They're so pretty, so precious, and I love to wear them over little Edwardian cottons. It just goes so well. Talking about robes, this beautiful 1930s one, she does need to be mended. So you can just see all the details. This beautiful lace, the flutter hem, it's all silk. These amazing capelet sleeves, and just how floaty it is. Isn't it so pretty? This one I've had for a pretty long time actually, but it's a little early 1920s little nightgown. It's adorable. It's in a peachy silk, and usually 1920s silk is just so fragile, but this is in great condition. You can just see all the details. It has a little stain, but I don't mind it. Look at those ribbon work little flowers in the silhouette. It's adorable. I got her for, I think, maybe 20, maybe 15 probably on Depop. The last two. These I got in a whole 4-piece lot on eBay for $30. So you can just regard these as costing, maybe it's 25. I think it was 25. Maybe it's 20. it was like $8 a piece basically, and that's very good. So this is the most unique 1930s bed jacket I've ever come across, and it was so cheap because it's not in great condition, but she's so unique. So it's this ice blue cotton eyelet lace with the pink little ribbons and a Peter Pan collar. I couldn't imagine a more perfect piece. I do not get enough. Oh, I forgot about the pocket. So darling. I know I've had this for forever, but I do not get like any wear out of her just because I need to clean her up. She has some rust stains, I think, and I'm always scared of washing rayon. But yes, this little stain right here prohibiting me from wearing her. But again, 1930s bed jacket. So darling. Okay, and then another amazing 1930s piece that I got from the same lot is this rayon maxi slip with a low back, and it's in the most beautiful colors. Look at that. Totally like just I want to eat it. Again, I'm shamefully have never worn her. Just because of the low back, I don't have any situation that would work. Anyways, TMI. I'm sorry. Look at that. And she has like a beautiful fluttery hem, and she had a black counterpart, but I don't count her as boudoir. She's more of like a little night out dress. But amazing bias cut. You can see the bias cut, which makes it stretchy. And it's so beautiful. And so those are all my boudoir clothing objects that I have collected that are antique. So I will be showing you my collection of recreations next. I have recreated some 1930s, 1920s undergarments because I just find them adorable. No, I don't wear them. I just find them so novel and cute. I just want to have them in my collection. So I will start with my favorites that I've made. 1920s inspired lace bralette, or kind of like a mini camisole. No closures, but the most amazing, I think it's vintage filet lace. And here's the back. So cute. This one is inspired by a 1930s novelty bra. Bralette, really. It is some pink fabric with a little bit of ribbon work on the edges, so on the top right here. All just ribbon that I darted and hand sewed. And a cute little pinch, and just look at it. Adorbs. This one has little hook and eye closures on the back. It's just so just like the smallest little thing. Okay, so then I have this 1920s bust flattener. So before the corset completely went away, because it was still used in the 1920s, although people like to forget that, or they just don't know. Obviously, I'm not blaming anyone. But the corset became underbust in the 1910s, so the brassiere was needed. And in the 1920s, of course, the silhouette was very flat and boxy, and for, normal people, that just wasn't always possible. So the bust flattener or bust reducer was a very popular little item that someone could use to reduce their bust measurement. So this one reduced my measurement by like 4 inches, 2 inches, I don't know. And it's just quilting cotton, 3 layers of quilting cotton. And yeah, super cute. And then I also made these little 1930s kind of tap shorts. This was before like regular underwear was, made. Snap closures, obviously. Just slip it on So cute. I definitely want to make more of these. I just think they're darling. Here are the two objects that I've made. So I have this little 1930s, it was a 1930s hat box liner that I made into a boudoir pillow. Quilting cotton on the back. All hand sewn. And hand sewn by whoever did this before me. So I've just been using vintage objects to make into boudoir pillows. Because my other one was a little 1940s little tea tray towel thing that I just made into a pillow cover. So it has this on the front and then a little 1950s eyelet lace on the back. This would make an amazing little, I just got an idea. This would make this fabric, because I have more of it, make like the cutest little top part to like a slip. I might have an idea. Sorry, that's my thought process basically. But I have two, or not two, that was a random number. I have a few ideas of objects I want to create. So first being a boudoir pillow that I embroider myself. So of course I have just made the former ones out of vintage objects, but I would love to embroider my own. So I think that will be one of my projects. The one I'm most eager for is making a 1920s or 1930s little garter. So not the belt, but just the one that goes around like the thigh. Because I just got some 1950s original stockings, and I would love to use some cute little elastic, beautiful garters. I'll put up my inspiration. But so that's gonna be another project. Of course, I want to make more little lingerie pieces because I just love how they look. So my idea was maybe using, I have silk, rayon, and poly, crepe, and like crepe de chine that I have for fabrics. And I'm trying to think of what I want to use. So I have that eyelet lace. Would love to make it into like a little like slip. It'd be so adorable. But I also want to make another set with a bralette and tap pants, and I want to use lace because I have so much lace scraps that I need to use. And yeah, so you will probably see that process next. Ignore that I'm sitting on the ground. This is where I work. I have a desk, yes, but I like to sew on the ground, right by my bed, and use the bed as my table. So we're not talking about my back issues. Anyways, so the first recreation that I want to make is a 1920s garter. I might make a pair. Maybe I should make a pair. I kind of just want to make one because I want to be unique. So I think I might just make one, which I know is not practical, but it's for decoration. So anyways, I have some blue satin and some insertion lace and a little bit of ribbon I want to use to make my garter. So basically I'm just going to take some elastic, measure it 2 inches maybe an inch probably, less than my thigh measurement, and then I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to hand stitch it. I'm going to cover it with some blue poly satin, and then I'm going to add a little bit of white cotton insertion lace at the bottom and just ruffle it a little bit, and then I'm going to maybe hopefully figure out how to make some ribbon work flowers because I just think those are so adorable. And yeah, so I'm going to guide you or lead you through the whole process, or show you through the whole process, my process, which is just kind of, you know, going for it. So I'm going to get all the materials out first. So now I'm just going to be around the plastic and just, you know, so okay, I did a lot of the work off camera for the base, but here we are. Super cute. This is all the machine sewing I'm gonna do because, you know, look at how that turned out. But here we are, so it's adorbs. It's a little scrunchy kind of, but it's not. So I'm gonna add the lace. Actually, I'm going to do a few things, but yeah, I'm trying to see how much like allowance I have for what I want to do. I think it should be fine. So I am going to sew little running. I'll show you actually. I'll just show you. Anyways, I'm gonna do a little detail work, and then I'm gonna add some lace and some ribbon work. So that's gonna be super cute. Back. It's a new day. I finished this project last night, but it was too dark to get a good video of the finished project, so I just thought I'd wait till today to film. So here it looks. Here it goes. Here it is. So you have the little makeshift ribbon work that I did, and the lace, and it's just so cute. And so I love it. I'm just gonna display it because I have no use for it. It might be like a cute choker. Anyways, so I already kind of decided what my next project is gonna be. So I had the idea of making like a very cute 1920s kind of like silk and lace top. So I'm gonna grab my materials and I'm gonna put up some inspiration photos too of what I think I'm gonna go for, because things might change, but I think that's gonna be my next project, and it should be fairly easy. I just need to gather my materials. For my first project, I have this beautiful bright pink silk crepe de chine. I've had it for a while. I just have neglected using it because I've never sewn with silk before, and it's so pretty. It's so wrinkled, but it's so pretty. I was planning on using it for a different project, but that never came to fruition, and so I think I'd rather use it for this next project. So I want to make a sort of like 1920s camisole, but like I was thinking of making like a little slip, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough material for that. So let me just like think about this. This is basically how much material I will have in like the width. I mean, I could, but it would just be really short. I mean, I'm debating it. I'm either gonna make a camisole or a little baby slip out of this beautiful silk. It's like a half a yard, I think. And then I have two laces that I want to use with that, and that's first this adorable pink one, and then it's kind of like a similar vibe, this one. So I'm just gonna trim it exponentially with this. Maybe do a little bit of ribbon work, because I just love how it looks. And then my second project I'm a bit conflicted on because there's so much I want to do, because I want to make a 1930s like bias cut slip really bad. And so I have plenty of this fabric. This is a rayon, again, crepe. It's so beautiful. I have so much of it. It's a terrible color right now, this like skin color, but I'm gonna dye it and hope that it takes. But the issue is, so I make the skirt out of it, and that's fine. I don't know what I want to do for the top because I have some beautiful eyelet lace that would make a beautiful like ruched top, that'd be adorbs. Or I could use some of this, or I could use some filet lace. It's like I could do some of this beauty. So I'm just a bit conflicted, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. So I would go the mixed cotton with the rayon. I'm gonna see if I can find like a nice panel with this and make a cute like top. I just pull this one out. Like, oh my god, this like section right here would be like amazing, just like across like the bust, I think, but I don't know. I just have so much of this I could use. So those are my projects that I am going to be working on. I think I'm gonna start with the camisole or the mini 1920s silk because that's gonna be less shaping and deciding what I want to do. And I'm basically just trying to get through my fabric stash right now. And a lot of the fabrics I have are so inclined towards the boudoir aesthetic because it's just like soft, slinky, drapey rayons and silks and cotton. So love that. So I'm gonna start on the 1920s little baby slip. Okay, so I have my pieces for the little neck I'm making. So I'm just gonna French seam the two sides together because it's just basically a rectangle, and I'm just gonna put like a lot of decorations on it. So I'm just gonna French seam the side seams, and then I'm gonna do a little mini rolled hem, which maybe I should hand sew. I'm gonna do a lot of hand sewing on this because it just gives me so much detail and beautiful stuff. But also, before I do with the side seams, I'm gonna add some decoration. Let me look up if you're supposed to do the decorations because I want to do a few like pin tucks maybe at the top right here, like some pin tucks maybe. Yeah, okay, hold on. Basically, so I'm gonna add some pin tucks right at the top. I know this one looks straight, it probably isn't, but I will sew it straight, hopefully. So I'm gonna do a few pin tucks at the top, and then I'm gonna do this big band of lace at the top too. Maybe I'll attach two together because I kind of want it to be, hold on. I don't want it to be like a lot. So match it up. That. I don't know how I feel about it. I use both of these laces, so I'm gonna use this one. So I wanna make this one right here, the yoke at the top. And then I need to add some gussets at the side. So I'm gonna use this for the gussets. And then this one is going to be the straps. And yeah, we'll see how much more I add, but that's basically like the big plan. So I will film as much as I can, and you will see my process, which is very chaotic, obviously. And I'm not doing any pin tucks on the back, only on the front. So yeah. I have zero clue how this happened, but I somehow got my bobbin casing out of the... and I can't fit it back in. So I'm just gonna try and find the... I think there's a screwdriver, so I'm gonna try to work something out, but what the hell? So here is the like front piece. So I have the little pin tucks, and then I'm just gonna do a little gathering stitch right here. And I just hope that's enough. Like extra, my belt looks big in these pants, but I think it should be like pin right there. It's like an extra inch, and I think it should be fine. Yeah, I think that's natural. We'll see. I think it'll be fine. If I just do, I'm doing minimal seam allowances on the side gussets, so I think it should be fine. But that's basically like the main body design's gonna look like. And I'm gonna do like little ribbon work right here, and then the lace, the nice big lace yoke. And yeah, I'm super excited about all of it. It took me forever. It took me forever to figure out how to put the bobbin casing back in the machine, and I had to get all these tools out. And I realized I had it right the whole time, so I didn't need to do any of that. But it took like 20-30 minutes because it took me 30 minutes to do all that. So yeah, okay. Okay, basically here we are so far. So I added this lace yoke, which I just love so much. Here are the pin tucks. I had to add a bit more silk right here at the hips and add this lace. And so here's the fit so far. Very cute, a bit boxy, but still not like so boxy, it's still slim. But from the front it's very boxy. So I love that. I'm gonna add some more trim at the hem, trim right here, ribbon work right here, ribbon work right here, and trim, and then some lace, or yeah, lace straps. So I'm just gonna add all those details. Otherwise, I just love it a lot. Okay, here's how it's looking. I added this super cute like scalloped trim at the bottom, which I feel like just kind of like pulled it all together. I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby to either maybe find the same ribbon in this color for the straps, and if I don't, then I'm gonna use this lace strap. But I'm also gonna get some more ribbon and some embroidery thread for a few repairs, and then different colors of ribbon for some ribbon work. So that's where I'm gonna go. I'll take you with me. Okay, I'm trying to be a car influencer, but obviously I don't, it's really close. Anyways, I have a haul. So I got 2 embroidery threads, to darn holes. So I have this silk robe I need to darn, and this little antique petticoat I need to darn. And then I also bought this thread for my robe. I didn't find any ribbon that was gonna go with the slip, so like the straps. So I just bought a bunch of ribbon to do ribbon work with. You know, maybe this color could go. I have the slip with me that I sewed. So hold on, of course. It's like all these colors. That's really pretty. Maybe. You know, this color actually goes well enough that I can probably use it for the straps. I want to do ribbon straps, I think, to tie in the ribbon work that's going to be at the waist for the wherever. So anyways, yeah, that's what I got. So I just have to drag home now. So I'm pretty sure I'm doing like the most tedious job to man right now. So I am zigzag stitching this whole scalloped edge of lace, so it can be finished and not fray. But oh my god, it's genuinely like consuming. Because I have to lift the presser foot every single time. Okay, today is a new day. There's my finished project from yesterday, but I have some fabric to dye today for my next project. So I have this rayon I want to make into a 1930s slip. I just hate this color. So I'm dyeing it with this pink Dye More dye. So it's gonna be pink, and let's hope it works, because I just want to make like a beautiful bias cut slip. I think it'd be so adorable. So that's that, and then I also need to dye this this 1920s slip that I made, but I just have been putting off because the hem is terrible. So I've just been putting that off for weeks. But it's just gonna be an underlayer to a dress, so I don't really think it matters that much how the hem looks. Anyways, we need to dye this beautiful fabric, and I think it's gonna take all day. So I'm gonna get started in a minute, but I don't think I'm gonna do any sewing today if this fabric is gonna be drying. I could put it in the dryer. I think it'll be fine if I put it in the dryer actually. So look how beautiful it is. Just the drape is amazing. We'll see how much I have to work with because I'm a little skeptical, but it should be fine. Because, you know, I worked with half a yard of silk yesterday and I still got that beautiful creation. Anyways, I also ordered 2 more bed jackets. I'll put it up right here, but I had to delete eBay and whatnot because I've been spending too much money. So I bought 2 more bed jackets and I think that'll be perfect to add to my collection. It's a 1930s little satin bed jacket and a 1940s little fun one that I thought had the cute long sleeves. So, yep. Okay, I'm currently filming this on my iPad because I don't know where my phone is. But this is the slip that I dyed for under this beautiful lace overlay dress that I made a very long time ago. But it's just like this beautiful lilac color. And with the godets, I will just say, look at that movement. Beautiful. I just need to fix up the neckline, which is ugly. But anyways, here's how the rayon turned out. Currently figuring out how I will piece everything together, but I think it should be fine. It just might be a little bit shorter than I was like completely expecting, but it'll be fine. Yeah, so I'm out of breath, as you can tell. I was like running around. So I'm just gonna cut it out and stuff and we'll see how it works because I'm really nervous. Yeah. Okay. Everything has gone wrong, basically, since I last filmed. It's been like hours, literal hours. We have the skirt and some sort of bodice. It is terrible. It's terrible. It's horrible. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm cutting off the top half. So we're just literally gonna have the skirt. And I'm gonna use this eyelet lace for the whole top. And I don't know how much I'm gonna film because I don't know how much this is gonna work out, but I'm trying. So if there's an end result, you will see it. If not, don't speak about it. We're not speaking. Here's where we ended up. I'm not sure how 1930s this is giving, but I do like it. It's a bit awkward in the sleeves. I think I might shorten them again. But this is as far as we're gonna get tonight because I am so over this project, basically. But yeah, beautiful. Okay, here are my 2 beautiful slips. You can see I just finished this one with the little belt and the beautiful bias cut skirt. Yeah, so those are my 2 projects that I made. So cute. So cute.